Guys, I'm so excited to have you on the show here today. How are you guys doing?
For having us.
Yeah, I'm kind of losing my shit, actually.
Why?
Because tomorrow I have to move out of my house.
Okay, what is going on? You're moving?
So we're not moving. We're having renovations done on the whole first floor.
Oh God.
So my bedroom, my bathroom, my closets, mine and Randy's closets, the 2 living rooms, kitchen, like all of that is going. So the floors are being redone and everything. So we have to move out for like 3 months. And you know the torture of moving.
Oh my God. Moving. I mean, I had one baby. You have like thousands of babies.
And dogs.
And like
dogs.
Yeah. It is
And
rough.
a Randy.
And a Randy. How is Randy when it comes to stuff like this? We're gonna do a little compare and contrast here. When you was it your idea to do the renovations and you're like, hey, everyone's got to get out? What did shit hit the fan? Does he get mad?
Oh my God. So when we first started talking about the renovations, we've been all over the place. Giovanna will confirm all of this. We've been literally all over the place. So I'm like, I need a more open kitchen. I cook a lot. I have a lot of kids, and you both know, where does everybody hang out in your house?
Of course.
In your kitchen, right?
The heart of the house.
The heart of the house. So my kitchen needed to be bigger. It was kind of closed off. So I'm like, I want to renovate the kitchen. And then, Randy fought me on it for a long time. He's like,
why do you guys have to fight that? I don't get the fight. I mean, I don't know.
You know him. He's not the biggest people person. The fact, like, having all of these people in the house, he was like losing his shit, right? Nervous breakdown almost type shit. And then finally, we went from renovating the house to building a new house to where we bought property, and we went through a year of plans to build a new house. And then we said, we don't like that property. We like this property better. So let's just stay here. So we decided to stay here. And then
don't forget about trying to buy property in Florida too.
Oh, I tried to buy property. We bought property in Florida and then sold it like a month later. It was the dumbest thing.
It was like a 5-minute phase of us trying to live close to each other. And then we all just...
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that, like, I mean, I know everyone goes through shit like this, but when like John and I are so in our own little bubble that, like, I'm like, am I the only one receiving this resistance on shit? Like, I mean, John and Randy can sometimes be like kind of cut from the same cloth in that regard of like, they're no bullshit kind of guys. They want to get shit done. If they're not in the mood to chit chat, step the aside, get out of the way. So John comes home. We've had painters in the house for the past 5 days, and like, he's gonna kill me. Like, he is just like, get everyone out of the house.
Yeah.
Like,
you try to be like the buffer, right?
Totally.
You try to be the buffer in between like him and everyone else, right? It's like, okay, don't kill them because they're gonna f our shit up on purpose.
Oh my God. It's nuts. So I can't even imagine for like, it's funny because we just moved into our house like 3 months ago, and I love this house. I love the property. Everything is amazing, but I'm like, hey, does need a fresh coat of paint. It actually needs a full new kitchen. And he's like, what? Like, cannot believe. I'm like, dude, like, these cupboards, they're painted, but they're old as so I think he thinks that I'm like making this stuff up sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's like
terrible.
Oof.
Well, here's the thing.
Well, they don't
whenever you're done putting your touch in, do they say, oh, okay, I love this?
Of course.
100%.
They fight with us all the time.
Yes. Like when other people come to the house and they're like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful in here. I'm like, see, it's nice. Just like trust the process. I'm trying to make it as like painless as possible. But there's going to be some days when like, we just need to like, we've literally last night we had to sleep in our daughter's room and like a twin bed. So it's rough up in here, y'all.
We had to rent an Airbnb for 3 months, Renee, because we have to drive 4 kids back and forth to school.
Oh my
So like literal torture. I'm like, hey, you might be going to your friends' houses for a couple of days a week after school until like I can get around.
Is it hard? It must be hard because I feel like you guys must live in like a pretty substantial home. And I feel like it's not easy to find an Airbnb to match that quality in the 3 months downtime.
Yeah.
Kim, tell her about the text. She's texting me while she's trying to find a house. And the first one she said, she was like, I got to call you back.
Yeah. They Airbnbs try to rape you.
They do. They sure do.
My gosh, the nerve, right? Just because you charge like $500 a night and like it's a $1,500 weekend getaway, right? Okay.
Sure.
You can't charge me the same thing every night for 3 months.
No. That's
you know,
crazy.
But that's what's happening.
Like,
that's what's happening.
When you can get the ones that are like meant for extended stay, that's like, that's different. But if they're not set up to work like that, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, we rented a house, which is it's like 10 minutes from here. So I could come back and forth a lot and, you know, check on what's going on here and get everybody back and forth to where they need to go. But
especially school.
They'll torture.
Yeah. Yeah. Transporting kids around is no joke. I mean, I'm brand new to figuring this all out. I was just saying to Giovanna that like we just lost our stroller. So it was in the back of a rental car. John and I drove up with him to Cleveland when they had TV up there, and he took back the rental car with a stroller in the back.
Oh my God.
Oh.
So
oh no.
Oh my God. Losing
Can you
my
get
mind.
will they send it to you?
So maybe. So it's a whole to do though. It's like you got to call national and then you've got to like fill out this paperwork when like, can you guys just peek behind the desk and tell me if it's there or not? Like what is happening? So we ended up ordering one off of Amazon, which was not actually our same stroller. Anyways.
How old is the baby now?
She's 8 months.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the fun. Is she starting to like pull herself up and trying to walk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. She's like busy body. She wants to do everything. She's like rolling all over the place. And like she wants to check everything out.
What's her first word?
I think, well, she's not had one yet, but it's going, I hope.
What do you feel?
I hope it better be mama.
You better just sit there and pump it inside you. Mama.
Oh, Nicoletta was dada. We recorded it and everything. I was like,
oh my gosh.
Do you know, I taught Brooklyn dads at first just to make Randy feel good.
I've actually thought the same thing, to be completely honest, because selfishly, I could very easily just rattle off mama to her all day. I'm with her a bunch. So like, yeah, I could definitely turn this to be in my favor. But I'm like, all right, I'll try and play even Steven here to see what she gravitates towards. So
like I'm with her all day long. I'll get the first word to daddy.
I carried her for 9 months. It's okay.
She lived inside me.
One thing. All right, guys, talk to me about the podcast. How did this all come together? I know this has been in the works for you guys for quite some time now. It's finally here. Give me the rundown, because you guys are only an episode in at this point. By the time this airs, you'll have 2 episodes out. But what all goes into it? Give me the whole rundown.
Take it away, Kim.
Oh, I feel like I haven't shut up yet. Just
during this our podcast, we're just having fun with it. We're giving the fans insight of our lives and, you know, what we go through as wives. And I actually was talking to Kim the other day, and actually I texted her and I said, girl, I got to tell you something because this is really cool. So she called me in the morning. She's like, what's going on? Hey. And I said, you know, even though we're telling our stories and like she's telling like how she met Randy and she had 3 kids. And I was like, I had to tell you this, but my sister's friend called me and she actually cried to that story because she has a daughter and the father of her daughter passed away and she's trying to find true love and she just doesn't know if she's good enough and who would, you know, love someone like her who has a daughter. And she cried and she said, that gives me so much hope. And that hit me so hard because I was like, people are listening and they're relating our stories to them. And I was like, Kim, I have to tell you this because you really moved her. So even though we're like telling our stories, it's just like a lot of females and a lot of people are relating to us. And I mean, it feels really good.
There's something so interesting about like, yeah, getting that like peek behind the curtain. I mean, when you're talking about guys like Kurt Angle and Randy Orton, of course, everyone's like, wait, what happens in these guys' personal lives? Who are these guys?
Yeah.
And then, you meet their amazing, cool, awesome wives that happen to be like best friends. It's really an interesting dynamic. And I feel like people are going to really love hearing about just like your guys' family life and how things go and what the day to day is like.
I feel like when we post anything and how that goes, right? Like people are like, oh my God. And they'll ask you questions about John and they'll ask you questions about your baby. And, I feel like we have so many funny inside stories that we tell each other all the time. And we go, oh my God, like if somebody knew that would be great. You know what I mean? So now we can.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you guys had to have the conversations with Kurt and Randy to say like, all right, where's the line? What won't we talk about? Or like, what's off the table? Cause I can only imagine. I mean, there's some times when like I'm doing a show, whether I'm doing this show or I'm doing my series show, or whatever, there's just a lot of times I'm talking with a microphone in front of my face and some shit might come out that you might not have wanted to come out.
So Randy, and he's kind of like, he don't give a shit. He don't give a shit about shit. And he's just like, I don't care, honey. Talk about whatever. He was like, you can put me over a little bit, but it's like, talk about whatever. And you both know when I say you can put me over, kind of what that means. But I'm like, you wish, buddy. But he's not scared of
like
what
husbands
I'm gonna say.
know us. They know us. So they know we won't cross the line.
Yeah, well, he hears me even in the back talking to his friends. I'm like, oh my God, did you know blah, blah, blah? And I'll say something and he's like, damn, babe. And I'm like, so what? But he's the same way. He talks to the guys about us, like us, me and the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And he don't hold nothing back. So I'm like, it's the same kind of thing, but
let's all flip the script a little bit.
It's all fun.
Okay. So to give a little backstory, I know that you guys were able to talk about it on your own show, but Giovanna, how did you and Kurt get together? Give me the little romance story of you falling in love with Kurt Angle and now having 6,000 children together.
Oh, 6,000. And we're going to stop there. I was in my 20s. I met Kurt doing indie. I was trying to get my shit together. I know in the podcast, it sounds like I was like all in the acting industry. I was just having fun, dude. So I just kept crossing paths with Kurt and it was like fate. I met him in this independent movie, which was luck. It was all luck. And I ended up being friends with somebody, one of his friends. And he was going through his problems with his DUIs. And long story short, my mom ended up getting his number because your mom got involved? My mother. See, I had to tell this. You know how many times I told this story and I didn't involve my mother? So I had to tell this story on my podcast to give, okay, Mom, it's because of you. All right. Everybody knows you're the one that got us together. Okay. So I ended up going to the Arnold Classic with his friend, and she took us because he had his DUI. He wasn't allowed to drive. So she took his car. We went to the Arnold Classic, which was such a blast. It was so fun. Like I actually was eating like I was eating donuts while these bodybuilders are all fit. I was like, oh fuck. Well,
that's some kind of fetish class or something of like just like looking at shredded people while eating bad food.
I swear to God, like feel the weight coming on you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was so guilty. I was like, oh, but she lost the keys, and me being the baby, my mom saved the day. I called my mom. I was like, Mom, we were 4.5 hours away. And I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I'm stuck in Ohio, Cincinnati. Can you please go to Kurt's house and get the spare keys? And she was like, okay. Like my father worked night shifts. So she was like, I got to do it while your father's sleeping, honey. So, She's one of those moms, man.
Oh my God.
And she went to Kurt's house. She called me. She's like, this is Kurt Angle's house. I was like, yeah, mom. Okay. So she grabbed his keys, drove all the way to Ohio. And it was the funniest shit because I still remember to this day. She threw the keys at me. She's like, bye, honey. Be safe. I've got to go back to your father before he wakes up.
That's so great.
Your mom deserves this credit. I'm glad that you're giving your mom her credit. You better.
All right. Yep. She gets it. She got the credit, but the crazy ass freaking saved his number. So,
that's awesome.
She's cool as shit. So she saved his number. It's been like 6 months later. I was in class. She texts me and she says, you got to call me. I thought it was important. I get out of class. She said, Kurt, I feel so bad for Kurt because he was on the news again because of his, his troubles. She's like, you got to call Curdy. Like she freaking knows him. Like, oh, you call him Curdy. Curdy. You know how they're all moms are dramatic. Yeah, you got to call him. Mm-hmm. He probably needs somebody to talk to. And I'm like, Mom, he don't know me like that. Like,
take care of him.
Like she's so motherly. Yeah. Like she'll take care of anybody. She'll
so
see
nurturing.
A puppy. She's so nurturing. She'll help out anybody. She's that type of person. And I didn't know the crazy broad saved his number. And she was like, you gotta call him. Send me his number. Mom. Thank you, Mom. Okay, 4 kids later. Thank you, Mom.
Oh my gosh.
So she gave me his number. I was like, you know what? I'm a good person. If I don't call him, God forbid something happens, I'm going to hear it from the day I die. My mom said, you should have called him. So I called him and I was just like, no, I texted him and I said, hey, I'm here if you need anything. I'm Giovanna, this is Giovanna, So he called me and I was walking right back in class and I did a UE and I walked right back out and I was like, okay, he's called me. So he's like, Giovanna, I'm so glad to hear from you. Strangely, I saved your mom's number because I was going to call you and ask for your number.
That's so great.
So these two,
I want that hot one right there.
These two crazy nut jobs, they sent me so I was thrown in the mix. So, it's crazy because it's like we needed each other at that. It's like we needed each other. Yeah. I didn't know I needed him, but I needed him and he needed me. And we were just emotionally just it's like when he really needed somebody to connect with on an emotional level. And he it's like I got him and he got me. Yeah. And ever since, it was a friendship that grew. And we've been, ever since, we started dating in November. 2
days later, she was pregnant.
These things happen.
Waka. It wasn't really.
That's what they all say. Day November, engaged in March. We found out we were pregnant in April, which was funny because people were like, we got married. It's so many rumors because the second time we had oh, they're just hurrying up because she got pregnant. No, honey, that didn't happen. I got engaged. We were planning a wedding. April found out I was pregnant, which, what? I loved it because, I saw my daughter being the flower girl. It was perfect. Everything was perfect. The way it was meant to be, exactly the way it was. So it was just, we've been separate, ever since we've been together. So
you guys are really strong.
Is anybody sweeter than Kurt Angle? He's just so lovely.
Dude, he's the nicest.
Mother was going on and on about Kurt from the Rumble.
He's so
they sat down and they were talking and he took a picture with my brother Ralphie, and Ralphie has Down syndrome, and he posted it and he was like, me and my Olympic gold medalist. He was just so cute, and my mom was like, I love Kurt.
There goes the so mom. Sweet. See, your mom fell for it too. There you go. Okay.
What are some of Kurt's pet peeves? What are things that set him off?
Oh my gosh. What sets him off? It's so crazy. He has
Me and Kim are like, oh, what's that stuff, John?
I'm like, what doesn't set Randy off is what I'm thinking. The first thing I thought, Renee, was, thank God she didn't ask me this question.
I feel like I know the answer to that kind of already.
Yes, you do.
You know
everything.
What? I bet you any money if you guys start talking about it's gonna pop.
You
right now, I don't know because he's so nice.
Yeah,
he'll do any, like, I swear to God, he'll do anything for anybody. He's so nice. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something. This is so funny, and I hope to God my dad doesn't hear this episode. Because my dad's Italian. He's just like me. We'll talk. So Kurt will be at the table, or my dad will talk his ear off, and Kurt will, like, his neck. He'll be doing this, like his neck is hurting so bad, and I'll look at Kurt and I'm like, Kurt, go upstairs, and because he does, like, like the the chair that goes up, and he does his neck thing. I'm like, go upstairs and ice your neck, and he's like, babe, I don't want to, I don't want you to be rude to your dad. I'm like, go upstairs, like, go do your thing.
Tell him to stop for 5 minutes.
I was like, he's just so nice. And there's me, and I'm rude as hell. I would be
Randy would be like, to his father, my father, wouldn't matter who. He'd be like, listen, my neck's killing me. I'm going to go disappear for a little while. Like, he got no shame like that.
I can sympathize with Kurt with that, because I feel like my Canadianness shows during moments like that where I'm like, oh, all right, I'm in this. I'll sit and talk to someone at a party for like 2 hours, and I'm like, holy, get me out of this conversation. I do that shit
Hurts so good, especially when we're eating, and like, he's so freaking nice. He'll be eating, he'll have he'll be food in his mouth, and somebody will come up to him, but hey, can I take a picture? Kurt be like, okay, hold on, and then just wiped off, and then Kurt's like, oh, he's in so much pain, he's getting up, and I was like, what are you doing? Tell him to come down to take a picture with you. And he'd be like, hey, is that okay if you come down and take a picture? He'd be like, yeah, sir. He's so nice. And then there's me. Like, that's why I come in. And
opposite.
He needs you to come in to be like,
I'm like, listen, can you come down and take a picture, or can you wait till he's done eating? And then there's me coming in. So it's just
good. No, he needs that.
He's so
like
sweet.
You said, things work out. You guys were meant to be together. It's
I'm stuck with him.
Yep. Yeah. Yes, you are. There he is.
You wouldn't want to be stuck anywhere else.
Oh. Okay, Kim, give us the goods. Give us the Randy story. Give us
Kim.
You are.
You know what's so funny? My son Michael just called me 5 minutes before I was trying to get on, and he's like, "Mom, you forgot." He listened to the first episode, and he goes, "You forgot something." And I'm like, what did I forget? But I can't remember like what I ate 2 days ago. So he's like, Ma, you don't remember the sign we made? So I made. So I feel like I've said this story. I met Randy and kept the boys to the show.
Did you keep it?
I don't even know where it is.
You didn't keep the picture. You didn't.
I know.
How unsentimental of you, Kim.
I know. And meanwhile, like, I have every card. I had every text, picture, everything. I have all of my stubs from every show I've ever been at. And I still have the tickets from the first night that I met him.
That's good. See, that's good. Okay. You have
printed on a paper. I have something.
Okay.
You got something. But he was like, Mom, you forgot the story about how we went to the mall and we were making a big sign that said RKO my mom. I was like, you got to get him, Michael. Hold the sign up. Make him look over here.
That's why he said, I want to know all of that.
Yes. And I totally
but like, what was the moment of like, what did you guys like make eye contact or something? Like, you're in the crowd at a WWE show.
Yep.
Randy's out there.
Poughkeepsie Civic Center, tiny little spot in Poughkeepsie, New York, upstate. And homeboy walks out and he's doing the, Randy, I walk slower than anybody thing. And
the Randy swag.
He's walking and I see him, like, he looks and I'm like, and then, he's walking, he looks again, and I look at the lady next to me, and then he goes in the ring and he keeps like turning back and I'm going, the lady goes, I think he keeps looking at you. And I'm like, oh my God, I think so too. But I don't want to say anything. I'm like, that's why I'm here. And so After that, I run to the barricade after his match is over. And I'm like, hello.
Here I am.
You know, look into my eyes. I know once we lock eyes, that's it. And he did the, like, you know, he's trying to be slick and he's taking pictures with everybody that's around me. And then finally he comes over and he's like, hey, do you want a picture? And I'm like, yeah. And we take a picture, and then he was just like, what's your name? And I'm like, Kim. And he's like, well, I got to get to know all of this, Kim. He's like, do you live around here? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, you know, do you want to meet me in the diner, in the Red Line Diner? And I was like, oh my God, that's my favorite diner. So bugged out, Renee. And you know, Randy, he's not like forward like that. He's more like to himself and hiding and shit.
Yes.
So I was like, oh my God. Right. And then I go to the back, and is his name Scott, the security guard, a little bit older, bald head?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Scott came out and took my number, and I gave him, and then he gave me Randy's number, and then Randy texted me and he was like, I'm going to go meet me in the diner in an hour.
Did you die when he first texted you? You're like, shut the
It's like dry heaving. I was dying because I'm like literally nauseous, because everybody that knew me knew I was in love with him. He was my pass. I wanted to make out with him more than anything. I was like, he just looks, he's an April boy. I'm like Aries, like we're gonna connect. And I just knew that once we made out, and this is what I told everyone in my family. I'm like, if we ever make out, he's going to fall in love with me.
I mean, take it easy. That's a lot of pressure. Okay, so you guys meet at the diner. What happens at the diner?
We meet at the diner. He can't go in, so I go up on the bus, and we're talking, and he's like, oh, who are you at the show with? I tell him my boys, and he's like, how many kids you have? And I tell him 3. Now, my youngest was 3 years old, right? And Alana was 5. And he's telling me about Alana, and I'm telling him about the boys and this and that and this and that. And then probably like a good 40 minutes, we're just talking about everything, you know, work and everything. And then, you know, he goes and he pushes my hair behind my ear, and I'll never forget this, because I'm like, this is so like Missouri boy, because no boy from New York or man would have ever done this. But he pushes my hair behind my head, and he goes, would you mind if I kissed you? I was like, no,
okay, Disney prince.
I know. So I think I fell in love with him at that moment. It was at that moment. right. So that was
that moment you fell in love with him, Kim.
So,
okay.
I'd have been before.
I have a follow-up to this, that like you loving Randy prior to meeting him, how stressed out were you the first time that you guys had sex?
Oh, Renee. So now here I'm dying, right? Because I'm thinking to myself, so like we didn't fool around.
That be like an outer body experience?
Out of body experience, just making out with him, no lie. Making out with him was, and I remember like just smelling him, and when we first kissed, I remember just like stopping for a second and thinking like, did I just make out with the guy that I watch on TV that I've been telling everybody that I was going to fall in love with? And
the viper is coiling, baby. Here we go.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you can, you know, get down and do the pound thing. Like, but on the real, Renee, dying the first time, dying. And because, you know, he's a specimen, right?
Yeah.
So he is, he's hot. And I'm just like, you know, he works with all of these beautiful girls, you know, and all of these like just in shape men, and just everybody around him is good looking, right? So now I'm like, okay, I got 3 kids. I got like stretch marks on my butt, and like
Kendrick Lamar, shout out. We want to see that shit, you know, get it out there.
Yeah. And so I was kind of dying, but like it wasn't a thing at all. It wasn't, we were just very like in the moment that I wasn't afraid of, you know, what we were getting it on.
I mean, I bet. I feel like it's funny because I'm sure anyone that's listening to this is like, yeah, I feel like we all sort of have a glimpse into what the sex life of Randy and Kim is like. I feel like it's on your guys' Instagram all the time.
Some pictures had to be deleted.
Anthony wants to die every time. Randy posted this picture of his hands on my boobs. We were in Jamaica and we're just standing in the bathroom and we're ready to jump in the shower. And I'm taking pictures and he's like, I'm posting it. I'm like, come on, like, you know, I got nothing on it. He's like, my hands are big and it's covering more than if you had a bathing suit on. This is how he gets me, right? I'm like, well, that's true. So he posts it and Anthony's 11 and he's like, Ma, my friend showed me that picture. He was like, you still got it up. He follows Randy on Instagram. And I'm like, first of all, he shouldn't be following adults. I'm like,
he shouldn't even have an Instagram.
That's his mother's problem, not mine. I go, Aunt, we had to delete it anyway. I'm like, down. But that's having boys, and now Giovanna will know, having boys, it's like tricky, especially now that they're getting older.
Sure.
Yeah. It's so tricky because like me and Randy kind of still feel like we still want to be sexy and hot and like post cool, like provocative things and stuff like that. But
the kids are like,
I got to think, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah.
It's so crazy because my son, which I'm not even like, I 3 daughters and then here comes the son, you know, that's older. So he's starting to tell me things. He's like, Mom, I don't know how to feel about this. It's just so, you know, Renee, my son's adopted.
I would love to get into that story too. It's really cool.
Yeah. He's funny. He's so funny, but he's like, Mom, my friend said something and I don't know how to feel about this. And I was like, what? What's wrong? He was like, they're saying that you're hot.
Oh, your mom is a MILF, is what they probably said.
I don't know what
damn right.
And I was like, I don't know how to feel about that. I was like, bro, that's weird. And I was like, but is it weird? Like, is that mean saying that? Because, you know, I don't want to insult you, but you're my mom. So should I stuck up for you, but I don't know, like, because it's all new to him. Yeah. But the natural feeling of him being my son and I'm being his mom, he's like, because, you know, he's like, that's weird. Like, bro, don't say that to me. So it was a fun. So that's when I text, like I call Kim and I tell her, I ask her for so much advice because she has 3 boys and he's like my son now. And I'm like, is this normal? Like, what should I say to him? So it's boys are funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, we have the one daughter. I mean, she's 8 months old, so I've not gone through any hurdles of anything like that. I'm actually kind of looking forward to those like ridiculous situations and seeing how John handles them, how I handle them. Okay. So Giovanna, you've got your 3 daughters and now your son. Talk to me about the whole process that you guys went through for adopting him and bringing him into your family.
So I have this, I think I got this from my mother, as you're starting to know how she is.
Nurturer.
She's very nurturing. She's so funny. Like my sisters would like have friends that did like, they're like a broken home. And she would bring them in like it's her own. And she'd be like, oh, what do you want for dinner? Do you want to come with us on vacation? And my dad would be like, what are you doing? Like, because I have 8 siblings. I'm 7. I'm one of 8. Yes, I'm the baby. I'm one of 8. So my God. So my mom's like, what's 3 more? And my dad would be like, well, that's why I'm working 2 jobs, supporting our kids. So, but my mom has a big heart. She loves like, you know, having a big family. And I think that's where, because I saw having a big family and I saw the unconditional love, I wanted that too. Yeah. So whenever I found out Kerr had 2 kids, I was like, yes, that's 2 kids I didn't have to pop out. Like,
right.
So it was awesome. And I was just like, I wanted to have kids with my husband. I was like, we're going to have beautiful kids. We're going to have a big bunch of grandkids, and I just saw the future. So I always wanted to adopt. Like I always wanted to. I love being a mom. My husband's a good father, and we're okay to do it too, financially and everything. You know, we have a lot of room. Our kids would love to have another sibling. Mm-hmm. So, it's so funny because every single night he thought I was crazy. Every single night I was subscribed to all these like adoption agencies, and it was funny because before I fell asleep, I don't know if this is like the Christian to me, like I would show him a baby or show him a kid. He'd be like, why do you do this every single night? And I was like, I know he was going to say no. And he's like, why do you do this? I was like, just to show you, see, this one could have a good home. We could be his parents. So I would pray for all these kids every single night. I would pray for them. And I'll be like, I hope you find a mom and a dad. Aww. So, there's this, I don't know what happened to him. We got out of church and he was just like, do you still want to adopt? And I was like, yes, I do. So we were looking into adoption. And the more we looked into it, we wanted to adopt a child. It would be harder for that child to find a parent. So either a special needs child or a teenage kid. And it's like when a teenage kid, so here's the thing. We have 3 kids. Our kids have language disorders. And it was just so hard, with this, having a special needs children, like the work that you put in, it's so hard. And so we said, okay, which direction do we want? So when we found out that it's like, as soon as a kid passes 12 years old, it's harder for that child to be able to adopt. Like the chances of it is slim to none. Yeah. So, my husband works so much, we wanted to adopt overseas, and it's, if you adopt from China or Colombia, you would have to be there for like a month, and my husband's schedule, he couldn't do it. So we looked into adopting from Bulgaria, which Rusev was very excited about.
I'm sure he was.
He even went out of his way and he said, thank you so much for adopting from my country. And that was just so freaking awesome. And I was like, boy, when this kid comes, I'm going to be calling you, because
yeah,
this kid spoke 0 English. It was so hard. It was, but the whole adoption process was insane. It took a while because of Kurt's background of his DUIs, and I had to make proof that, he was like able to adopt, which thank God everything was okay. Everything was good. But we went over there, and I swear to God, this kid looked just like us. Just like me.
It's crazy. He does.
More like Giovanna than 2 of her daughters that came out of her body.
Yeah. It's insane. Yeah. It's funny, nuts. But you know what? We had a translator. He knew 0 English. And I think that was very easy for me because my kids had a language disorder. So I was very patient in that aspect. But it was funny because I have pictures of him. Like whenever he came here, like I put postage stamps all over him. It's so funny. I put postage stamps all throughout the house of his like survival words.
Yeah.
And I swear to goodness, like I think 3 months in, he was starting to be fluent. It was,
wow.
He was like a sponge. Like he knew there were certain things that
how old was he when you guys got him?
He was 15.
15. Okay.
He was 15.
He's such a good boy too.
Wow. A good kid. He was a good kid. He is
to please them. He wants to be a good kid.
Yeah.
Like he has a job. He has his permit. He has like my 17-year-old, nothing. Like he don't want to please us. Her son wants to please them.
Yeah,
he's so cool.
But I asked Ken for advice a lot, and I was like, "Is this like with the whole hair situation? Oh dear Lord, help me on this one." I was just like, "Dude, his hair. Like, I guess this is a phase of the hair looking like it's not comb thing going on."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Kim, what am I supposed to?" She was like, "Listen, it's at least her son wears a hat. Mine would just be like, whoo, Ooh, look at me
everywhere. Let it all
I went through that battle. I'm like, it's hair. Like it doesn't matter as long as when he walks out of the house with you, if he's presentable, don't care. It's his hair.
But Renee, this kid became so Americanized very fast. So he comes home. Oh my God, Fortnite. Like he'd be like, oh my gosh, his favorite word right now is bruh. So now my daughter's saying it, and I'm like, stop saying that word. Stop. Like Juliana's like, bruh, what are you doing? I'm like,
my gosh, that's so
word.
What is the language barrier that your other kids have?
Like, what do you mean?
You said they had language difficulties.
Oh, it's a speech delay. I mean, they have a speech delay. It took like, Juliana, it took her until she was like 4 to, she babbled, like she'd like, ba, 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 like she babbled. And then, Sophia, hers was very, hers was more severe. She had a severe speech delay, like, conjugative and receptive delay. So it was harder for her because she didn't understand what you were saying and you didn't understand what she was saying. So it was throwing a kid. It's like going to a different country. Nobody understood you. You don't understand them. And I felt really bad for her on that one because she really took it rough. She would cry because of that situation. I know a lot of people that are going through this. And they think there's like a lot of people think there's something wrong with their kid, or they think they're not doing, like they're doing a shitty ass job being a mom or being a dad. Yeah. And it's all about patience and it's all about research. Whenever you do your research, there's nothing wrong with them. You just got to figure out what it is to help them. Because as soon as I found out what that problem was, I got a speech pathologist with early intervention that Pennsylvania has. And it's free. Like it's not like you need, like, do you have to be a millionaire to find these resources? You just need to do research. And it took a couple years for them to, she's fine now. I know her personality became from aggressive to such a pure soul. Like she's so innocent. She cares about it
anymore. Yeah.
She's not frustrated anymore. Like, so if anybody's going through this, I'm telling you right now, just be patient and just do research. And I'm telling you, you will see the light at the end of the tunnel because she's a completely different child now.
It's so crazy being a mom and the things that you like. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, I got to Google this one thing. What's going on with this? What does this mean? Yeah. Like those things that just like kind of filter into your brain, and we all do our best to, make sure everyone's good and taken care of. And being a new mom, I'm always just like, is this normal? Is this happening? What about this? What's the next stage? What do I need to be prepared for the next thing? It's like, oh my gosh, it's never ending. So
never ending. There's so much and then if you have any more, you'll see too, Renee, each kid is completely different.
Right.
It's like whatever worked with this kid doesn't mean it's going to work with this one. And, this kid was an angel and easy. And then this kid could be torture and colic. Like, I don't know. They're just all so different. They're all so different. And you got to figure out kind of like what works for them. And then, just like everybody, like learning wise and stuff like that. Like everyone learns differently. Yeah, I'm more of a hands-on. I gotta touch things and do things. I can't just have someone talk to me because then it turns into like, what's his name? Charlie Brown. Want. Like that's what I start hearing.
None of it makes sense anymore.
No.
Okay. What is one of the difficulties of being a wrestler's wife? What comes in? I mean, I guess I can chime in on that too, because I'm also a wrestler's wife. But for you guys, what are some of the hardships that you have had as a wrestler's wife? Is it watching some matches? Is it the fame side of things, being on the road? What kind of things do you guys see that can be a little bit difficult?
I think watching any of the old stuff back, like the McFoley thumbtack match, that was really hard for me to watch. Or like when he popped his shoulder out, doing the thing and then rolls out and like hits it. But like just stuff like that
Yeah.
That's really tough. When I was pregnant with Brooklyn, he had his Brock fight and Brock's like splitting him open. And
oh my God, that was insane.
Oh my, and so I'm literally sitting in the trainer's room with Anthony on my lap, who was like 5, and his head is almost between my legs because I was sitting at the top of the table and they're like stapling his head right there. And like, so that's really hard to watch. Anything physical, and I'm sure Giovanna it hurts me to watch the match with him and with Kurtz and friggin' what's his name? The feet. My mother loves him. Shane McMahon.
Oh, you calling the face?
Sad couldn't come to my because he does the feet thing. I couldn't think of his name.
It's like Matt Riddle. Like
Brooklyn just polished Randy's toenails the other day, and they're still polished.
I can't wait to say this to Kurt. I swear to God, I'm dying.
He was in the trainer Monday, and he goes, and I took my shoes off and I'm like cracking my feet, and I looked down and I realized my toenails were polished, and I was like, I go, they're gonna think you're biting Riddle because take it off. But you know what's hard with Randy? Girls, because he's like a sex symbol. Girls feel like they can just come up to him and flirt or, be sexy. And I'm like, hold the up. Right. Yeah. Like, you could think he's beautiful from afar, because so did I.
That's you.
Yeah, no, so did I. Like, I get that. And it's so funny because at shows, if I see girls going crazy for him, I love it. Right. And they're holding up signs and they're like, oh my God, I love him so much. I'm like, yeah, that's my baby daddy.
Baby daddy.
That's my baby daddy. And like, I'm proud to be married to like a hot sex symbol kind of guy. Right.
Yeah.
But then it also, you'll get a drunk bitch who will be out somewhere and she'll be like, oh my God, the Viper. And I'm like, don't make me hurt you. Like,
do you lose
go
it
away?
Because I feel like you have the personality that you freak
well,
out on
sometimes
somebody.
like we were in a diner one time and some chick, it's like in the middle of the night, and she comes over and she's our waitress and she goes, oh my God, can I have a picture? So he looks at me like, he's so funny. He'll give me the eye, like, yes or no, what should I do? I'm like, go ahead. Right. So she sits next to him and she's like, oh, can you take a picture for me? And I stopped doing that because I'm not his photographer, but I always used to. Right. And so I take the picture for her, and then she goes, wait, can you take one more? And she, like, this is his face. And she's like, and I was like,
oh my God.
And I go, you might want to take your phone before I throw it. Get up. And then she slides out. And I'm like, where do you think you get the nerve? That's like me walking up to your husband, Renee, because he's on TV and going, oh my God, I love him so much. Can I put my tongue close to his face while you take a picture?
No.
It's like,
also get your COVID ass face away from my.
You know what I'm saying? Like, get out of here.
Yeah, beat it.
So that becomes sometimes like a thing, but he's so good and like respectful to me because he kind of puts himself in the same situation. He's like, I don't know if the tables were turned, I don't know how I would be able to deal.
I feel like Randy and John are similar in that sense too, that if they don't want to be approached, it is very clear that they do not want to be approached. Yes. Like there's times when you're like, okay, cool, go up and not Kurt. But yeah, I mean, you could pass Randy and be like, not gonna bother Randy.
Yeah,
today.
no, not right
like,
now.
Hey, how's it going? But then there's other times it's like, hey man, how's it going? You can like shoot the shit with him. Yeah. But John's the same way too. Where like there's times that you're just like, he's not open for business right now, and you can definitely tell that.
Randy told me a story about him and John going overseas. And he was like, yeah, never really talked to Mox and da 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 da. He goes, but he sat on the back of the bus on the tour. And, we finally sat down and started talking. And, I said to him, yeah, man, I thought you were like, T-self, kind of like a little bit asshole-ish. And, and he's like, yeah, you too. And he's like, two assholes connecting, right? And it's great because they're just like, Randy's very like introvert, and you wouldn't think it. Like he wants to be home doing his same 3 things, and that's it. And when he has to go to work, he'll go to work and then come home. And, he don't like change. He don't like, he don't like bullshit, small talk most of the time. You know what I mean? Like if you want to have a conversation with him, he's really good for that.
Yeah.
But it depends. It depends on the time and the day. You got to catch him at the right moment.
He's finicky mother. No, it's so funny. I remember hearing that story, and I heard that story from the reverse from John of him and Randy kind of broing down. But I will say, I mean, Randy has always been, even since both John and I don't work for WWE anymore. I mean, he's always been one of the first people to reach out. I mean, when we had the baby, when the stuff went down with John, I mean, Randy has always been there and reached out to us in all those moments. So
he's a good person.
We love Randy over here.
He has a very big heart, and most people don't know that.
Yeah.
He's very sensitive and caring, and he really has a big heart.
It's funny too, because I feel like, I mean, I didn't know Randy all that well prior to you guys getting together. I mean, I had been around him and I had worked with him, but I didn't know him. Because I feel like he was less approachable. You changed Randy Orton. I'm sure you get
Kurt said that all the time.
Everybody says that. Everybody says that. Like John Laurinaitis. Like,
even he's a different person.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh my God. Like, no one even really spoke to him. It was like a kind of hi and keep it moving kind of thing. And I'm like, really? He's such a like chill, make you laugh kind of guy. He's not like that anymore in the back, which is so cool.
No, he's not. No, I mean, Randy's always down for like a laugh.
Well, he was also young whenever he started too, which Kurt always says. He was like, he was just a young cat and everything, but he grew up.
Yeah.
He's not the same guy anymore.
Like, he walked in when he went to work, and now you have like Shawn Michaels and Undertaker and like all these big guys and Flair and Hunter and all these like names. And so you kind of are like, well, you would know, right? Like back in the day, everything was very respectful.
Yeah.
And it's like, hello, nice to see you, blah, blah, blah. What can I do for you? Now it's like people are walking around in the back, and it's like, kind of like people kind of think who the they are before they're somebody. You know what I mean?
Like they're in their spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Slow down. But he said that.
It's so interesting to like see that. I mean, it's great. It's awesome. It's so nice to see that. It's cool seeing people just be happy and be with the people that they're supposed to be with, and everyone is good and life is good. Kim, have you gotten in trouble for getting a little fiery on the old Twitter machine?
On the Twitter? I've gotten in trouble on the Instagram. I'm, me, I'm so bad. Like I can't, if I get mad, me and Randy are very similar in that regard. Like if I'm mad, I'm mad. My face will, like I'll have the I want to kill you face and not know that I have that face on.
Yeah.
And but like I'll catch myself. But I've said things to people on social media only because they were attacking me. And I'm not used to that. And I'm not used to not being able to even defend myself.
Yeah.
Which pisses me off, because you have all these people online being keyboard warriors and saying whatever they want to say. And then the second you say something back to them, they're like, oh my God, they're picking on me. And it's but you started it. You know what I mean? And, but I had to grow up. And I had to grow up, and Randy's like, baby, he's like, I get how mad you get. And you can tell me how you want to kick their door down and like record you kicking their ass and post it. Like, I get that, but you can't say that online. And I'm like, I'll try.
I'll do better. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll try.
Giovanna, do you ever get caught in moments like that?
It's funny because I'll tweet something and I'll screenshot it and send it to Kim and says, should I say this? So I actually, last time, oh my God, whenever Kurt got out of rehab, and this is crazy because I don't know. It's like, when you do something, it sticks in the back of your mind somewhere. It's like hidden. Mm-hmm. The incident that I had was, I didn't know that I would be like, the wrestling websites will go after me like this. It was whenever Kurt got out of rehab and he was supposed to do something with the D-Lo. They had this charity event that Kurt was supposed to go to. Mm-hmm. Kurt couldn't do nothing. Whenever he got a rehab, he was antsy. He even like our child Sophia was a few months old. So whenever you go through rehab, it's like the stuff that he was taking he was numbing himself. So whenever he was clean, he felt every emotion, like everything. Even like when the baby was crying and he was holding Sophia, it was giving him like kind of like anxiety a little bit. So we went through a rough patch. So when he was going through that for the first like 6 months, he was supposed to go through this charity event, and I tweeted out that he's not going to be there. The fans or the website said the charity event was canceled. So I think it was D-Lo. One of them was just like, it's not canceled. I don't know who started this rumor. And then I was just like, I didn't mean to say it. So I was just like, I didn't mean to say that. Da, 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 da. So the website was saying everything that I was saying. It was like a new website that popped up. Like, I was just like, you guys, like, come on, this is not news. You guys can find something else that is news. This, like, find real news. This isn't news. They would say it again. So it was like they were attacking me. So I deleted, like, I think I had 100,000 followers on Twitter. I deleted it. I was just like, I fucking hate social media. Like, I was just telling my husband was not like mentally okay to do an event. So because of that, I have to think before I do. And there's some times where I do stuff and I delete it because I was like, it's not worth it. Yeah. So, I mean, the social media thing, I'm very like, I watch what I say. I try to.
I've had to censor Randy before.
You don't say.
He be tweeting some shit, don't he?
Randy's actually one of my favorite follows.
He's
when
great.
He goes off sometimes, I'm like, oh, Randy's on some shit right now.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. And then there's Kurt just tweeting about himself. What can I say but today that but the fans don't even know about, I won a gold medal. Like,
what's so funny, Giovanna? I got to show you something real quick.
Oh, for sakes, what is it?
Giovanna sent me, so we play this game and we play.
Did it come?
It did. So it's RK no, or it's true. And if it's a true or false thing, right? So Giovanna sent me this doll. Because,
let me see. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The only doll I had was in a case because my son Michael was a big mark for Kurt. So before I even knew them, I had bought on eBay a signed Kurt doll. So that's what I've been using. So Giovanna sent me this, but look, Randy brought me this today.
Oh, shut up. I love it.
He goes, when you use my doll, I put Kurt's gold medal on it. He was I'm like, okay, I'll use it like that.
So the game is it's true, RK no, or RK no. So we play this game where John, our host, hey John, he's listening right now. Johnny boy. He asks us questions and we have to say it's true or RK no. And I am undefeated.
Ooh,
she is.
What are like the questions?
Oh my God.
Well, like, is it true? They cheated one game. I'm sorry. And it would have been a tie.
No, no cheat.
One of the questions was, like who did was Randy's first match with Harley Race or, whatever. and it's either it's true or it's false. But I think Giovanna cheated one.
I did not cheat. First of all,
John did.
Let's bring this back because you know how WWE always exaggerates with the height.
Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
And the weight.
Yeah. So that's why it's so funny because fans would be like, wow, you don't look 6'2", because they like, it's so funny. So I think John was like, I don't know what to say now. So I didn't cheat.
I know.
Kurt is not 6'2".
Right.
That's what they try. They try to make them superstars.
Yeah.
Freaking,
I'm just being
America
for the same reason that I couldn't wear high heels during interviews. I get
oh
it.
my gosh, that's so funny. I know. It's great to see all the girls in the back with their flats on, and they're like this. to like AJ's like 5'8". They're up here. AJ. It's like, come on. It's great.
So funny.
Yeah, people are allowed to be short and still be badasses.
You know what's so funny? When I first started coming around, it was so crazy to me how small all the girls were.
Yeah, they're teeny tiny.
Oh yeah.
Teeny tiny. I thought that they were all bigger than what they were. And then seeing like tiny little Sasha or tiny little Bliss or tiny, and like, the Bellas, they're probably both taller than me, but like, I thought like Tamina, I thought she was a lot bigger than she was, a lot taller than she was. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're so cute.
I know.
Like,
everyone's
tiny and cute.
It's true. I know. They're like these tiny little things.
Yeah.
They're adorable.
They're
all adorable.
All over and throwing themselves around. Like,
okay, so what can we expect for coming up on your guys' podcast? What else is being covered? What do we need to know about your podcast?
We have some fun games that we're like gonna slowly come out with that are gonna be a lot of fun. Get the fans in on it, and a little fan participation. And we got a drinking game. We have a John Cena quote of the week, because John, come on, like if you're gonna pull a Twitter quote from anybody, it's actually gotta be John, right?
Yeah,
great. It's great. I was like, funny. babe, he was like, should I phone in a favor? Maybe. He was like, and ask John to like do a little, hey, this is the John Cena quote of the week. He was like, maybe you can use it. I was like, please do it. He's like, nah, I'm not going to ask.
Wow. You missed a window. Got to get him on another day, maybe.
I know.
Well, guys, it's been so nice to hang out with you and get to see your beautiful faces.
We love you.
I know. I love you guys so much. It's so nice to see you. And I'm so excited for your podcast. I'm going to be a perpetual listener because I want to hear all the dirt.
Yay.
Oh, hear all the dirt.
Yay.
Just be good to us, Renee.
We could talk about our first interview. You popped my cherry, Renee.
Yeah, I did.
Popped my cherry.
Damn right I did. Yeah, we were on like a hotel roof in Brooklyn when I got to interview you and Randy for Unfiltered.
Talk about an asshole puckered. I was so scared. I was so scared.
That was so much fun. I remember that day very, very clearly. But here we are. Now you have your own.
I know.
This is amazing. This is
so
crazy.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for having us on.
Of course.
You're the baddest bee in the game right now. So thank you. Yeah, well, this is fun.
Good luck with your move and the renovations and the Airbnb and all of the things going on in life, because we are all just holding on, getting through it. We're doing it. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And I'll be listening to your guys' show, and I miss you guys.
Listening to
Don't forget to leave a 5-star, Renee.
Rate it, review it, subscribe to it, like it, leave a comment, all that shit.
All that good stuff, right? Thanks, Renee.
Thank you.